Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, June 4th, and here we are. I'm finally across the moving hump. The house is livable by my standards, and the lab is ready. I'm going to be putting shelves in and getting work tables, etc. So my focuses are shifting. In commemoration of that, I'm going to create a new video. Now, I actually created a video yesterday, but I decided not to release it because some people don't deserve that much attention. And it was about the misuse of intelligence, like the inappropriate use of intelligence, which is an important topic for those of us who study all the alchemical stuff. But today, I want to start with the lead the field. Here's the reason, okay? These guys, mostly white guys, but in general, young men, they're full of anger. They have no success in their life. Although they are insufferable, they are not completely to blame. Now, I'm not saying that it's not their responsibility, because that is always on the adult. Always. And it's not society's fault if you succumb to the pressures. You should have learned how to project your energy, how to be at least prickly enough. You don't have to be grouchy. You don't have to be mean. But you do have to protect that which is around you. So I started thinking about it, and I decided that what this society needs is more of lead the field kind of understanding. Or a good book would be See at the Top. Anybody who hasn't read See at the Top, they need to read it so they can understand what are the signs and symptoms of a low self-esteem and a low confidence in oneself. Now, one time I read that book, it tore me up. And the truth is always a little painful. But that's okay, because the truth will set you free. People need more of the truth and less of the lies, less of delusion. I'm all for a good fantasy story, but there is a limit to it. Now, as for today's lesson, I'm going to start exactly where Earl Nightingale started, exactly where Bob Proctor started. I'm going to start with the magic word. The magic word is attitude. Now, I don't mean have an attitude, although I certainly have one. What I mean is have a good attitude. Now remember, and by our definition in health, good is what's good for your health. So there are only two attitudes that I want to promote for you. The first is a positive attitude. Have a looking up attitude. Today's a very young day. It's going to be the first of a series of young days. It's a good time to go forward. You know, let the past kind of settle down, go away, and you just get in your tunnel and go forward. Don't engage. People are disrespectful. People have been disrespectful. There has been bad stuff going on in your life, and that is not very important. I mean, it's important in that you deserve to have a happy, copacetic life. However, the problem in this universe is earning. You have to earn it. So, we're going to let all that kind of go by the wayside. And we're going to use a positive attitude moving forward. You are positive that things can change, and you are positive about what today is going to hold for you. Whether you're at work or you just finished school, maybe school's out and you don't know what you're going to do for the summer, be positive about the summer. because this is the time of things for growing and fruition. The other attitude that I condone is a winning attitude. To some degree, that does mean competitiveness. I'm one of the more competitive people around. I don't suffer the fools. But that's not what I mean by winning either. Okay? It's not just about winning in a debate or winning in a basketball game. It's about winning in your life. It's about not being defeated by the forces of chaos, bad luck, disease. Not letting fate, that which you have any influence, if at all, control your destiny. You know, I'm not saying that Bruce Lee would have lived a full 90 years. However, when he decided to use hashish, he courted with chaos, and then he sealed his fate when he took the headache pill. And the two mixed together, his body was not capable of handling that. His body was too clean, too stressed out. It was a very dangerous thing to do. However, since we don't know the rules of these kinds of things, since we are silly humans and we don't really know what's going to come around the corner, we just have to go forward with a winning attitude where whether or not we actually have the ability to guide these forces, we've got to act like we can. If you give up and you act like you can't, then you just become angry, despondent, depressed. And the internet's already full of these trolls that are angry, despondent. That the first thing they do when they deal with people is use anger. If right now you've been going through an irritable time, perhaps a partner, perhaps your job, perhaps a child, and it's not been going well, step away from it for a moment. Just walk away for a little bit. I'm not saying give up forever. You know, if your child has made bad choices as a young adult or as a full-grown adult, you know, just walk away for a minute. Change the situation. Change the formula. That isn't giving up. Sometimes winning means taking a different tack. Sometimes it means changing course. There's a whole lot of techniques. You learn that when you're grappling, because when you grapple, you could try the always aggressive route, but sometimes you get drawn into a very draining situation, and the only way to win is to go deeper in the pain, to feel the hand in your neck, to put your head in the crotch. Sometimes it's really miserable, and the only way to success is through the pain. The Chinese saying is that to taste success, you have to sleep on brushwood and taste gall. Of course, this means having a bitter go. To have a bitter go is sometimes easy because life can give you the bitter experience, or sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. As you attain more success, you've got to introduce some bitterness, some striving. Now, you're supposed to, there is a part of the path, this is something I'm not very good at, is entering from striving into non-striving. So that is also a thing. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about striving. Why right now? Why striving when it's the midst of summer? Why not have a relaxation summer? Because, folks, I sense something coming. Hawaii's not getting active for no reason. And there's a volcano in Guatemala exploded. Right? These things are not without connection. And I have a growing sense that something something big, something important is happening. In which case, it's better to be prepared, better to be sharp, kind of ready to pop. You don't want to get lulled to sleep, because that's when whatever gets you, the system gets you, the man gets you, the devil gets you, whatever you want to project outwards. For me, the main enemy is always inside. Inside, there's plenty of enemy. So when I get lulled to sleep, that's who I think of as trying to come up. But that's just me, you know. If you're not an alchemist, if you don't practice transformation as a rule, then don't worry about that. Just focus on the two attitudes that we talked about: a positive attitude and a winning attitude. Now, a winning attitude does require a certain level of competitiveness. But again, you could be competitive within yourself. You could be competitive, you know, look, when I was in school, I didn't know, and this is a true story, I didn't know how they chose valedictorians in high school. And one day, a girl named Emily comes up and says, "We're tied for fourth." I was like, "Tied for fourth? What is she talking about?" Yeah, we both have the fourth highest GPA. It's exactly the same. Well, it turns out all the girls that were ahead of me, they had all been competing with each other. Real cutthroat, apparently. I didn't even know that was a thing, because for me, I tried to get good grades because I wanted to compete with myself. I wanted to be the best I can be. And that, to me, is all that's worth it. Now, I didn't end up valedictorian. I only found out about this in my, midway through my senior year. So, I ended up top guy. Which isn't bad, considering the salutatorian got caught cheating on her physics, paying the Polish kid, I'm not kidding, paying the Polish kid. Among several seniors were doing it, paying the Polish kid to do their physics homework. People were competitive. Our valedictorian was so competitive, she didn't even take AP Calculus because they weighted calculus equally anyways. So she took the easier calculus class. So, I'm not bitter. No, I mean, the thing is that to have a winning attitude, sometimes you have to push. And other times you have to wait and, let things roll through. I'm not very good at letting things slide. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in procrastination. I believe in getting things done. That is just my attitude about that. Now, in the next one, we're going to talk about life paths. I've seen a number of people lately, whether they're coming to the clinic or online, and they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know who they want to be. Well, you know what? I don't know who I want to be. I kind of know what I want to be. And I know who are my heroes. But you never know truly who you want to be. So in that kind of environment, in an environment that is designed societally, culturally, the way that things have been set up to pull your head and your heart in different directions, the question is, how can we access the soul? So that we can know who can we be. Because there are limits. Right? I'm not going to start dunking tomorrow. But, there is something to be said for God has everything in His hands. I don't talk about God too much on here because I don't like to get too preachy. But there is some degree of you have to let go and let God when you're talking about winning and when you're talking about a positive attitude. You've got to realize that you aren't the biggest force in your life. There is a greater loving force. It's a regulatory force, but it's a loving force. And you could question it. Okay, you can question it. You can doubt it. You can even be mad at it if you are. That happens. Some people I know are angry with God. Inside, they don't know that they're angry. course, this God we're talking about is not the planet Saturn. We're talking about, the true, the universe moving energy back and forth. However, sometimes you got to do a little bit of trusting, and maybe you feel God's lost your trust. But what I'm asking is that through this series of leading the field, that you find a way to be positive, and you find a way to let go and let God. That's all I'm asking. And if you can't do that, then work with me on getting a positive attitude. Work with me on getting a winning attitude. Tell yourself, look in the mirror, tell yourself, I'm going to win this time. For me, not for them, not for mom or dad or husband or wife or for the children. I'm going to win for me. I'm going to compete with myself, compete within myself, be a fighter inside. And we will get there. All right? Look forward to a health video on the Blue Lotus channel later in the week. I am not sure when. All right? Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you later.